Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're doing marvelous. I just wanted to post this video to let you know that there's been a few changes to the OBS file structure with the scenes and the sources for the live streaming. And I hope that this setup is more convenient for everyone as we've kind of progressed into adding more sources that we're broadcasting live, such as the worship text, as well as slides and videos that are being played. And I know that it can be quite cumbersome to try to take those sources and manage them and, in here and push them up and down and try to create the scene and and then push it over to program. So what we've done is we've changed it. Instead of just being one single source and pushing them up and down, is that we've created scenes so that those scenes are fixed. And so, for example, if you load this first scene here, you're going to see that it's called intro, and it would be our intro page, and you would transition over, and that would be what's broadcasting. So this is going to be typical for everything. That being said, when we start the morning and it's the worship team is up, it loads the full frame of the camera, and then we're ready to go live, we can slide that over. Okay, similarly, if we have there's one here called camera slides split horizontal. The reason we set this up right now is because there was talk of people wanting to be able to see the text a little bigger, as well as possibly some closed captioning, which is difficult to do in a live scenario. So I've created this split screen here so that the text that's coming from the worship PC is preloaded. And when we're doing that over here, you can just run that. And rather than have the projector on for the time being when there's nobody in the actual worship hall, I think it would be a nice view for us to display it this way rather than having the text shine up on the back of the screen. And I think it's going to be beneficial to the quality of the picture for the camera as well, not having the video projector cast the light back into the iris of the camera. So there'd be more consistency in the color gradient in the background. So as this, you can just keep this frame going as we go through the slides. And then, for example, once the slides end, you could go back up and load full frame and transition over to full frame. All right, so there's a couple of other scenarios that we have here too. We have the one that's called camera slides split vertical. And basically that's just the same sources, but just as a different view. So we have these, they're split vertically rather than horizontally. And that will be advantageous for, obviously if you want to show the view, then in that way, that's perfect. Or there's also the horizontal where the text would be at the bottom. The reason that I incorporated these ones is because when we have a scenario where we're broadcasting a tile, which would be like a slide. Let's see here. So let's push this live. Okay, so if we have like a full screen tile, the issue I was seeing is that when we have it as a full frame and it's being pushed up onto the screen, that when we were zoomed into what we'll call the pastor frame, where we're zoomed into where Christopher is sitting, in the background, we would always have the bottom of the slide kind of being cropped. And it was kind of an unpleasant view because it was also pushing light into the camera and making the background all kind of yellow and stuff. So with this vertical, now what we can do is just have it so that the slides and the full frame are side by side. Or there's one other option here, which is called the camera slides split. And this is a view that I know Dave has been using quite a bit, and I really caught on to it and liked it. So we set that as a preset. Now keep in mind that the full frame view is based on the camera view, right? Unfortunately, without dual cameras, I can't set a crop. I was hoping that what we could do is just keep the camera set up in one spot and it would crop in to the pastor frame, but unfortunately it can't. We can't run two scenarios off one source. So until we incorporate a different camera, where I was hoping one camera would be a full frame as we're seeing now, and then the second one would be zoomed in to the pastor view, which would really help in that smooth transition between the two different frames, then we could load it as a scene. But anyway, I hope that that's something that you're gonna like. It's really just kind of streamlining what we were trying to do already. Instead of trying to like stack the sources so that they would come up properly, we can just load the intro scene and have it there. And then we can load the camera full frame scene and have it there. Or we can load the split frame, which is ideal if we have the worship text at the bottom. So for example, if I just push this back here and we load up, say here, push that live and the cornerstone. So now that's how it would show up on there. Or similarly, if you wanted to do it so that it's the vertical split, you could also have it like that. Your call. But I think that if we are going to do it in this manner, so that we're broadcasting it like this, that if it's okay with the worship slide operator, that we don't turn on the projector in the background. I'm not saying that we can't, but I think that rather, if we want to just continue to have the text along the bottom and that's preferable, then duplicating it in the background and having that light shine in back into the camera. I mean, this would be optimal, but certainly it's not, you know, that's, I guess, personal preference. If you feel that that's the way you want, then no problem. And then of course at the end, there's a scene here called outro, and you can transition that over. Now, I know most of you are pretty familiar with if you need to change the cropping. So if you do zoom in the camera, you know how to work these grips so that you can zoom into a frame and everything. But anyway, that's the whole scenario, is just for us to be able to have more going on without having to transition through sources, rather than, and so now they're set up as scene presets. Adjust them as you wish. But I think these ones here were kind of going with at the time, but certainly if you wish to add more scenes, by all means. All right, thanks all, bye.